Okay. Hi, guys. Hi, Josh. Hi, Kyle. So nice to meet you. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So I want to start from the very beginning because all this, basically kids animation is very new to me. I don't have kids. I don't plan on having them. So, this was fairly new to me. And I saw that, one of you, Josh, right, used to work for Robot Chicken.
Yeah, we both did. We worked on
You both did.
Robot Chicken during the pandemic.
Okay, so that seems like a little bit crazy to me because I know that not all animation is the same, especially for adult animation and kids animation. So how do you do that? Like, how do you go about that when you're writing for adults versus writing for children?
It's honestly kind of the same. You just have to have a voice in your head telling you what's inappropriate for kids. You just have to know, because truly,
What if
like our
you're like me and you
show,
don't have that voice?
I you have to have that voice if you're working for kids TV. But we truly like we write this show to be a co-viewing show. Like, even if you don't have kids, I hope you enjoy it too, because we try to write an adult show that just doesn't have the sort of jokes or content that would be inappropriate, or kids wouldn't care about. We're not going to do an episode about like taxes, um, for example.
Although
But
we wouldn't do an adult show about taxes either.
no, no, probably not.
Josh is totally right where it's just, you're trying to write it like anything else. You're not trying to write down, you're just trying to write how you normally would. You're just eliminating the wells of, sex, drugs, and religion, which is, wells that you would commonly go to in adult. And honestly, when you create a really great episode, it's sometimes even more rewarding because it was just a little bit hard.
Exactly. So how did this come together? I mean, how did you come up with the idea with the rock, paper, scissors? I mean, it seems so basic, but I would have never come up with an idea like this.
Yeah, I think the beauty of it is how basic it is. This was just because normally when Kyle and I brainstorm on stuff, we're bashing our heads against the wall, being like, what do we want to talk about thematically? What's going on in our lives right now? And this was just an idea that came to me in the shower, and I went, that's it. And I say this is a positive thing. I went, that's dumb. And that's what you want sometimes when you're writing comedy is the laugh followed by that's dumb. But I pitched this to Kyle and I remember being like, all right, rock, paper, scissors. They're best friends and roommates. They compete over everything and they go on wacky adventures. And he was like, yeah, I get that. And I think that's a big barrier of entry in any TV show is just going, I understand what this show is. And because it's such a simple way in, we can go anywhere in the show. There's so much freedom. You can go anywhere, you could do anything. Our episodes are all over the place. And that's what we both, I think, really gravitated toward. It's just the types of stories we could tell here.
Yeah, I think that's one of the strongest, going off that, one of the strongest parts of our show is like the unpredictable storytelling. We have an episode that takes place over the course of 20 years and an episode that takes place entirely in Scissor's head. And so it really is the biggest sandbox because it's just three guys living together, go, and you can go anywhere and do anything. So it's that freedom. I want you to get excited when you sit down to watch an episode to go, I have no idea where they're going to go this time. And sometimes my favorite shows have always given me that feeling.
So okay, how big of overthinkers are you, or are you are you not overthinkers at all? Like, because just preparing for this interview, I was thinking, okay, so this is a simple, basic idea, but then I got to thinking, I'm here in Puerto Rico. In Puerto Rico, we do have rock, paper, scissors, but then I began overthinking it, and then was thinking to myself, like, do they have it in Russia, in China, in South America? And, and I went down the rabbit hole. So is overthinking a thing for you guys at all when writing or coming up with it?
Absolutely. Josh and I are huge overthinkers, but there's a funny balance to the show that Josh and I have talked about where sometimes we will spend days upon days thinking of a detail, and sometimes it's just first thought. Sometimes, like with this show, it's sometimes first thought is the best idea, and let's build that out. And sometimes, we'll spend weeks on it.
Yeah,
But
when
we
we were
are,
doing,
yeah, go ahead.
oh, sorry, I was gonna say when we were doing our pilot presentation, we were like, what's the show that Scissors should be watching? And immediately one of us was like, you've got bulldozed. And we were like, That's funny. All right, let's keep thinking about it. And then we thought about it for like another hour, and then we went, the first one was fine. Let's You got both. This was the funniest idea we've had. But yeah, sometimes, especially when it comes to storytelling, we'll look at things for a long time and be like, okay, is every beat in the story helping us tell the right character story or theme that we want to tell? So we definitely overthink
Which,
things.
by the way, You Got Bulldozed should be a real show.
It should.
That would be a great show.
Write it down so you don't forget.
Yeah.
So how do you like assign character traits to each one of these characters? Like you think that The Rock would be like a strong character, like no emotions, but they don't seem like that at all.
No, and honestly, your reaction I think is perfect because I want you to be surprised by the depth of these characters. Because some people at first glance, like we're having this interview, it's a simple, basic idea, and I think you'd be surprised of how deep each of these characters are. They have their own hopes and dreams and flaws. Rock is a kind, emotional, is very high emotional intelligence, caring guy who cares about self-expression and wants to be an iconic male model. Paper is a faux intellectual who wants to be smart, but he's not very smart. And he wants to be this famous inventor, but all of his inventions explode. And Scissors is this kind of lovable jerk. He's kind of this wild card who he plots a lot, he schemes a lot, but you see that all of his kind of terrible behavior sometimes is coming from the fact that he's wildly insecure and has very low self-esteem and is the most vulnerable character in the show. And so building all these characters out, it gives us endless personal stories to tell.
And in terms of also the genesis of them, like you're asking, Scissors is a little bit based on Kyle when Kyle was a kid.
I was
Because
a
Aw.
Kyle was
short,
like,
I was like the classic short, overcompensating, insecure kid.
and then Paper is a little bit based on me because my sister was like a child prodigy, and I was always trying to prove myself as being intelligent when I wasn't. And then Rock was made to be loved because we were like, at very early on, we were like, well, if people don't like Kyle and me, we need to come up with someone who's just lovable on his own.
And you also see like in the group, each of them kind of believes that they're the one keeping the group together. Because Rock's like, well, I'm the one keeping, Paper and Scissor. I'm the one keeping the peace.
Yeah,
And
without me, you're
and
nothing.
right. And Paper's the one that believes like, well, I'm the parent kind of keeping these two degenerate roommates on track. And Scissors is the one that believes like I'm the glue because without me and my chaos and my like wild card energy, their lives would be super boring. So without me, they're nothing. And so it's just like it's just endless character relationships that I think are just going to surprise you.
And they're all right. They're all, I mean, without each
Yes.
one of them, they don't work. So, guys, thank you. That is my time. Josh, Kyle, congrats on the show. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, and
Thank you
thank you
so
for
much.
listening.
I hope that you'll be a big, big fan.
I will. I am. I already
Okay.
am.
Okay. Thank you.